Let's do some supports. Annette, how's it going?
Hmm.
After 5
Hi,
years.
Professor.
Something happened?
Do you remember what we talked about before? About doing my best to not do my best? Well, I've been pretty busy recently, and despite my best efforts, I've been trying way too hard. I was busy all day yesterday with training and work. I just couldn't help myself. That's why I decided to take a day off today. It's just, now that I have a day off, I don't know what to do with myself. Please, you have to help me. What should I do?
Have you tried taking a nap?
I tried that. I couldn't calm down enough to fall asleep. I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm cut out for not doing my best. Oh! You're a professor. You must know some secret technique for deep relaxation, right? If you do, please teach me. I'm begging you. I'm at my wit's end.
Remember how I was a mercenary before I became a teacher? I don't know, just try having a nice cup of tea.
I'll try that right now. This candy is so sweet and delicious, and it goes so well with piping hot tea. Ooh, and speaking of the tea, your brewing skills are incredible. I'd love to be able to make such nice tea, but... Oh, Professor, will you teach me how to brew tea like this? I'll do my best to learn, and then I'll make delicious tea for you as thanks.
Is this doing your best, Annette?
Oh, sorry. Back to my old tricks, it seems. Oh, why is it so difficult to not do my best? I try and try to not try, but it just doesn't work.
Well, just be yourself.
Professor? You're right. Doing nothing is just not my style. To be myself, I've got to do my best every day.
There you go, that's the spirit.
Okay. Then you really must teach me how to make such delicious tea. You will, won't you? Please. Oh, and also, well, thank you. You've listened to me and helped me face my troubles. Now I feel like I can talk to you about anything. Honestly, I wish we could go on drinking tea like this forever.
Isn't it always so convenient how these support conversations almost always loop back around to bring someone back to where they started, but like enlightened? Just constant galaxy brain meme.
You're kidding.
Oh. Alright.
Professor.
Oh, hey, Ash. How are you doing?
Oh, hey, Professor.
Hey, you're as chipper as ever.
Actually, I ran into that thief while I was shopping just now.
Thief?
Maybe you don't remember. It's been quite a while. The man who stole the book from that market stall.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
saw him
know,
on
only
the
5
street
years
with
ago.
his kid. They were both so grateful. It's a really nice feeling.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah, but it did seem like they were still having trouble getting by. I guess what you said to me back then was right. My actions didn't really solve the problem. I can't help everyone no matter how much I try. If I had the money or power, maybe, but I don't.
Oh, you'll get there. There's no need to rush.
You know, a long time ago, Leonardo said nearly the same thing to me. I think it was when I tried to look after the horses all on my own. I really messed that up. He said, "You're not quite ready for this yet, but there's no need to rush." I know I can't help very many people right now, but I think doing what I can for those I see in front of me is still worthwhile. I have to believe that, at least.
That's a fine way to look at it.
Thanks. That's reassuring to hear. What about you, Professor? Has anything been troubling you lately? I'd be happy to help, as long as it's not looking after horses. You might not want to trust me with that.
That's not what I want to hear from my future bow knight. Why do you ask? Do I look troubled?
I genuinely enjoy helping people. It's a great feeling making someone smile. So if there's anything I can do for you, I want to do it, because I care about you.
You care about me, huh?
I didn't mean it in a romantic way. I just really look up to you. So what'll it be? How can I help?
I just couldn't resist putting him on the spot. Hey, you want to help me cook then?
Of course. I'd be glad to cook with you.
Ash is good. Alright. Got another conversation up around here about.
Listen.
Keep this part of the map. Right.
Professor,
Oh, hey, Ingrid.
apologies for bothering you so late. I just really wanted to speak with you.
Well, I'm happy to listen.
Thank you. You see, I've been feeling conflicted about my future. It may seem petty to worry about such things in the middle of a war like this.
No, I don't think it's petty.
This isn't something I open up about with many people. Feeling such a sense of inner turmoil while a war rages on, and others are fighting with all they have, well, it feels a little selfish. The truth is, I've wanted to be a knight ever since I was a small child. Not just any knight, like one you might find serving within the castle guard, but a true knight, one serving a master. However, my father has always had different plans for me. He wants me to marry, for the benefit of the Galatea family.
Well, you don't have to do what you don't want to.
Defying my father feels wrong. I've seen how he struggled over the years. His burden has always been far greater than any I've had to bear myself. While he fed me extravagant meals, he subsisted on meager portions and watered-down soups. He never once complained, even though he must have been starving. Knowing his sacrifices, I've never been able to tell him of my dream of becoming a knight. Now that this war has begun, my father has allowed me to fight for my homeland. But even if I do become a knight, I feel an unease deep within me. I fear I will never escape this guilt I carry, that I have shunned my duty as a noble.
Alright, so, I want to take a moment to say, Ingrid, why couldn't, maybe if you did talk to him about what it is that you truly want, I don't know, maybe he would understand. Maybe he would be like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't know this after all these years. Maybe he'd be fully supportive of it. I don't actually know. But if he's been sending you, like, these marriage proposals over all these years, and he doesn't know that you want to be, like, a knight, well, there's your problem. Anyway, could you not find a way to do both? Be a knight and a noble?
To follow both my dream and my duty? I had never considered that as an option. Perhaps there is a way. Even with the academy days long behind us, you're still a professor through and through. Always listening to others' troubles and offering up your wisdom. I really am grateful for all that you do for us, Professor. I hope you'll always be here as a guide to everyone. I know I myself would appreciate that deeply.
Let's see who. Okay. Who's up this way? I wonder.
Professor,
Ah, Mercedes. Now is a good time.
do you have a moment, Professor? I need to speak with you. Thank you so much. This is what I wanted to address. This letter from my adoptive father just arrived.
Adoptive father?
Oh, have I not mentioned him? He's the reason I first came to the Officers' Academy. He's also the one who dragged me from the church where I was living, just so he could use my crest.
I don't understand.
My crest does not yet belong to a house, so he plans to use it as leverage to marry into the nobility.
Ah,
He's a very greedy man who was a roving merchant before adopting me, but now he's in the capital. This letter says that he's finally arranged to marry me off to a wealthy noble. I know he's just thinking of himself, but can't he see that this isn't a priority when we're at war?
my thoughts exactly.
I don't know what to do about this proposal.
Well, will you accept? Wait, come on. Why is that the dialogue option? She just said she doesn't know.
I can't see any way around it, so I fear that I must. I just don't want to let go of the life that I've made for myself. I know it's not what my heart wants, but I don't have the strength to say no.
Well, what does your heart want?
I believe I've mentioned this before, but I want to work in service of the church. Well, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to be the church, but I want to help those in need. If I were to marry a noble, I think it would be difficult to realize that dream.
Well, why can't you decline then?
It's just, I've always allowed myself to follow the whims of those above me. I convinced myself that everything in life was at the will of the goddess. I was blind to reality. I believed it was her will to both pull me from the church and guide me to the Officers' Academy. The decision to enter this war was the first time I acted of my own free will. My adoptive father opposed this decision, but I somehow managed to convince him. Still, I couldn't free myself of him completely. This letter is proof of that. It's not that I'm scared of him, but there is something that worries me.
Would that be severing your ties?
I knew you'd understand, Professor. I've sat down to write a reply several times, but I can't muster up the courage or the words. I was hoping you could provide me with the encouragement I need.
Well, you can't just give up your dreams. Not like that.
That's a very good point. We're only given one life, so we must do all we can to pursue our happiness. Okay. I think that may have been just the push I was looking for. I'll tell him the truth, that I found a life worth pursuing, and I must decline the proposal. Maybe I should tell him I've fallen for someone else.
Oh, and who might that be?
Why, it's you, Professor. Isn't that obvious?
Oh, I wouldn't say obvious.
I'm just teasing.
Oh, you.
Now I'm off to write this letter and stand my ground. Thank you for your encouragement.
Now, I do want to point out here that even though she's just teasing, she can absolutely S-rank with Byleth. Anyway, we've got to find Sylvain somewhere. Where is Sylvain? Out in front of the cathedral? Okay. Let's pop on over and say hello.
Let's see. Ugh, that hurts. Ah, Professor. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, how's your injury, dude?
It's not bad. I was even told I'd be cleared for service starting tomorrow. Besides, I got this scar fighting for you. It's almost like a medal or something.
Didn't you want to kill me? Like 5 years ago?
I certainly meant it when I said it, but when I thought you were going to be killed for real, my reflexes kicked in. I reacted without thinking. It doesn't mean I've stopped being jealous of you. But come on, I can't help but look up to you. If I'd had the guts to run away from home, I wonder if I would have cared as little about my crest as you do yours.
You didn't have the courage? What you talking about?
But if I thought I could have escaped, I would have tried. I'd leave behind House Gautier and the life of a nobleman and anybody who knew I had a crest. Our home is to the very north of the kingdom. Just across the mountains from us is land inhabited by foreigners to Fodlan. It once belonged to Fargus, but now that the kingdom has collapsed, it's only a matter of time until fighting breaks out. Anyway, that land has been contested for centuries, and all that time, it has fallen to House Gautier to protect it. Actually, our Lance of Ruin has been doing most of the protecting.
Ah, yes, I remember. 5 years ago.
Those were dangerous times. One wrong step, and we would have lost our relic to the church. My father was afraid that the church would try to keep the lance, so he entrusted it to me. If an emergency arose, I was supposed to be called back home. I guess those very situations are why my family values crests so much. Since I bear a crest, my parents made sure I was never left wanting. My older brother didn't have one, and so when I was born, he was pushed aside. You know, he once shoved me in a well. He left me on the mountainside in the middle of winter, too.
That's, kinda shitty. Kinda.
Even as a little kid, I understood why he was like that. My mere existence stole everything from him. I have no right to complain when I am surrounded by people who would give anything to bear a crest, but do not. Now, women smile at me for the same reason my parents adore me, and my brother wanted me dead. And I have to meet them all with a smile and a wink, because I have a crest.
That's true.
Yeah, it's late to admit it, but I get you. It would be best just to tell them to heap their empty praise elsewhere. Anyway, it was pretty unreasonable of me to resent you. I'm really sorry about that. And I want to say thank you, Professor. Seriously, thank you.
For what?
Before I met you, I'd gone my whole life not knowing there was another way for me to live. So, from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad we met.
I will say, I'm not sure I'm entirely a fan of the way... Like, Sylvain, it feels like Sylvain is always making these assumptions about, you know, all the girls he hits on and chats up and woos. So it'd be nice if, you know, maybe the end of his support with Byleth would be him, like, learning that at some point. I don't know. I think that's all of the ones... Oh, no, there's one I can still walk to. Shamir. Oh, but we've seen this one before, I think. So I'm gonna skip it for the sake of time.
Professor. Thanks for...
Alright. Now we can continue on with the other ones. Felix.
Finally, I notched a win against you.
Oh. But I almost had you, probably.
True, it was a narrow victory. When we spar, I feel like I'm revisiting my past.
And why is that?
It's like training with my brother. He always won, always, and died before I could win a single bout. From the first time I held a sword, all I wanted was to surpass him. And that's what drove me to become so strong. Perhaps it's absurd to say such a thing, but I've spent all these years training for a duel with a corpse.
Oh, well, I guess you found an answer to my question from 5 years ago.
Yes, I suppose I did. I can never again spar with my brother, not unless he climbs out of his grave. Still, I continue my endless pursuit of strength. Maybe because I have a new opponent to measure myself against.
And who is that? Because I'm dumb as a rock.
You, obviously. I beat you this time, but when we next cross swords, who knows what might happen. It was a close match, not a crushing victory. I know that I can do better. I will surpass you in strength, and then I'll become stronger still.
Well, don't count me out yet.
Just what I was hoping you'd say. Anyway, thank you for helping me find an answer to the question you asked all those years ago.
Let me just change the angle. There we go. Who's left? Cyril? I don't think we got an A rank with Cyril last time around.
Time for a breather. Hey, Professor.
Yeah, you've been busy.
Yep, noticed you have been too. Seems like it's been a real rough day for just about everybody, huh? I've been so busy I still haven't eaten. I hope there's still food left.
Cyril. Here. Have some meat.
How come you're carrying that around? Whatever, I'm hungry. When you're hungry enough, just about anything tastes good. What a day. I need a nap, but I still gotta get the dining hall cleaned up.
Well, you shouldn't push yourself too hard.
Professor, that's funny. You push yourself harder than anybody else. You make me look lazy. Besides, I don't even break a sweat doing this stuff. The day Lady Rhea comes home, I want her to see the monastery the way it was 5 years ago. That's why I do all this stuff. For her. And the harder I work, the better. Heck, I'd do more than I do now if there were hours in the day. But I can't go without sleep. Tried once.
Cyril.
You must think I'm pretty weird, huh, Professor? I'm always on about Lady Rhea, and I'm not even from Fodlan. I bet most people around here think I'm kinda weird. But I'm real grateful for everything Lady Rhea's done for me.
It's noble of you to show such gratitude. We'll just say
That's
that.
nice of you to say. Real nice. Thanks, Professor. It's good to know you like me. Helps me feel even more at home. I've heard people say that good folks have a heart of gold. Not real gold, I mean. Just they always care about everybody else. Even guys like me. Lady Rhea's incredible. But I figure you're just the same, Professor. Okay. I guess I gotta give in and get some sleep. I'll get up extra early to make up for it. Good night, Professor.
Cyril, you're a hard worker, but you gotta be able to rein it in sometimes. Anyway, let's have something that doesn't involve Byleth.
Here you are.
Oh, were you looking for me, Felix?
You were injured in the last battle. Are you okay?
I'm fine now. Thank you for your concern.
You really are troublesome.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to get in your way out there. I just couldn't help but worry. I was only trying to keep an eye on you.
What are you even doing on the battlefield? You endangered yourself and got hurt. Such a stupid thing to do.
Yes, of course, you're right. I have no excuses.
If you intend to carry on being such a fool, you'd best stay near me.
Are you sure? I'd hate to get in your way again.
You can,
Hmm?
you can keep thinking of me as your little brother. And that'd be better than going through this again.
But I thought you didn't like that. Didn't you say you were fed up with it?
I am fed up with it. I've already spent years filling in for someone who's dead. My older brother inspired love and respect. He was a great knight. He died. Since his death, his memory has followed me around like a shadow.
Oh, I didn't know you had a brother too.
I don't let my personal feelings distract me on the battlefield. Still, do I really remind you of him?
Well, you don't look like him, but something about you feels so familiar. It just makes me want to protect you. That's not to say that you're incapable or unreliable or anything like that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You're the one who just came to check on me.
You need to pay attention to your surroundings. You're reckless. Lives are at stake, including mine when I have to run over and save your skin.
Yes, I'll try to be more careful. Thank you for being so kind, Felix.
Whatever.
Look at that. Felix is showing kindness in his own way, and Mercedes picks up on that immediately. What do we have here? Ah, yes.
Annie, do you have a moment? Is this about what happened when we were shopping?
Again,
If
5
so,
years
it's
ago.
fine. Don't worry about it. Not so fast. I haven't properly apologized yet.
I just want to repeat that. I mean, for the umpteenth time. This is something that happened 5 years ago, which means they've had this between them this whole time. Okay, let's continue.
So, I'm sorry. I got scared. Imagine if something bad happened to you because of me. Mercy. You would have just run away if you were on your own, wouldn't you? Instead, you acted defensively because I was there. I dragged you down. Mercy, you're upsetting me. How dare you say that you dragged me down? You know why I was acting so recklessly? Because I wanted to protect my best friend in the whole world. Annie. Do you remember when we first enrolled at the academy? It seemed like everyone was leagues ahead of us and so far out of reach. I felt completely hopeless. But because you were there, I didn't lose hope. So, don't say stupid things about how you dragged me down or how you don't deserve things. Thank you for saying that. And again, I'm sorry. You're just so important to me. I know I could never find another friend like you. You've stayed by my side through thick and thin. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if anything happened to you because of me. Mercy, can we be friends again?
Did you ever stop?
Of course, Annie. Friends forever. Good. I don't know what I would have done if we hadn't found a way to make up. I'm sorry. I should have said something sooner. No, I'm the one who should have stopped being so stubborn and said something. You know, now that everything's as it should be, I'm suddenly starving. That's just like you. Come, let's go for tea. Ooh, let's! And we should have some Mercy-baked sweets on the side. I think I love you more than just about anything in the world. You do? Oh, Annie, you're too sweet. Not as sweet as your baking. I love your baking more than anything in the world, too. Other than you. Well, I'm always happy to bake for you, Annie. I'm so happy to have you bake, back.
Oh, those two. Just, gals being pals.
That battle was a decent challenge, but when push came to shove, they didn't have a chance. Before long, all of the church's enemies will have been destroyed.
You must really love worshipping the church. Or is it just Rhea?
Lady Rhea.
I think we've seen this before,
You're
but
the
I want
only
to see
one
it
in the
again
Knights who
because
doesn't address
Catherine
her
and
with the
Shamira
proper
are great.
respect. It's not just that I worship Lady Rhea. I respect her, admire her, revere her.
I don't get the Seros religion. Or Rhea.
Shamir, if you were anyone else, I would cut you down for saying that. She saved your life.
She did, and that's why I fight for her. Doesn't mean I worship her.
You never change. You're so stubborn.
You're the stubborn one. When we're on missions related to Rhea, it's like you're wearing blinders. Wanting to help her is admirable, but you'll be of no use if you get yourself killed.
I don't plan on getting killed. And it's not that I'm wearing blinders. I'm just focused. I've devoted my heart to Lady Rhea. She's the reason I wield my sword.
As long as you don't get killed or cause me any trouble, I don't really care.
So my death would cause you trouble?
That's not what I meant.
Let's give it a rest. There's no point in arguing.
Fine, but I want you to know something. It's not easy to put your life in the hands of someone who doesn't share your beliefs.
I understand. I think we can both agree on that.
Definitely got to get to the A rank of that one. But that will do it for supports.